At 42, I sold my farm for $10.5 million and told my family I lost everything. It was a lie, but it exposed the truth I had ignored for 15 years. And by the end of one dinner, I knew I would never be their daughter the same way again. Now let me take you back to a Tuesday morning in March, the day I signed the papers that changed my life. The attorney's office smells like old coffee and printer ink. I sit across from Douglas Whitfield, a stack of papers fanned out between us, and I sign my name 14 times. Each signature transfers another piece of my farm, my 800 acres of certified organic soil, my contracts with 3 regional supermarket chains, my packing facility, my name, to Meridian Agricorp. Marcus sits beside me. His hand finds mine under the table after the last signature and he squeezes once. He does not say anything. He does not need to. $10.5 million. 20 years ago, this land was a weed-choked strip of clay that my father handed me like a consolation prize. My sister Jocelyn got the good parcel 60 acres near the highway with county water access. She sold it within a year for $180,000 and spent the money on a European tour and a down payment on a house she could not afford. I got the dirt nobody wanted. I taught myself soil chemistry from library books. I borrowed $40,000 from a farm credit union at 9% interest and spent the first 3 winters sleeping in a trailer with no heat because every dollar went back into the ground. Nobody helped. Nobody came. Not my mother, not my father, not Jocelyn. But they showed up later. They always showed up later when the money started coming in. Douglas slides the final document across the desk, and I sign. He shakes my hand and says, "Congratulations, Mrs. Hutton. You built something remarkable." Then he lowers his voice. "Be careful who you tell." Marcus nods like he has been waiting to hear those exact words. On the drive home, he turns off the radio and looks at me. "Before you tell anyone, I need you to hear me out." We sit at the kitchen table that night. Marcus has a yellow legal pad and on it is a number I have never seen him write before. $347,000. "That is how much you have given your family in the last 15 years, he says. "Cash paid bills loans they never returned. I have tracked everyone." I stare at the number. "Marcus, last year your mother called crying $15,000 for a new roof." He flips a page. 2 weeks later, I saw their cruise photos on Facebook. The Caribbean. I open my mouth. He keeps going. $8,000 for Brianna's fall tuition. Jocelyn posted a new handbag on Instagram the same week. Price tag almost identical. She said that was a gift from Todd. "And when you broke your shoulder in the tractor accident, nobody came. Not one person. Your mother called the following week to ask for a deposit on a new car. The kitchen is quiet. The faucet drips. If you tell them about the $10.5 million, Marcus says they will be wonderful to you. They will call you every day. They will bring flowers, and you will never ever know if any of it is real." I push back from the table. "They are my parents, Marcus. I know. That is why this matters." He puts the pen down. "Tell them you went bankrupt. The farm was foreclosed. The bank took everything. Then wait. And if they prove you wrong, then I will apologize. I will drive you to their house myself." I look at the legal pad. 15 years of line items. Not once in that list does anyone ask me how I am doing. If I am wrong, I say I will apologize. I want to be wrong. He reaches across the table and holds my hand. "I know you do." The next morning, I sit on the bed with my phone scrolling back through old messages to find my father's number. I have not called him directly in months. It is always my mother, who reaches out always when she needs something. That is when I see it, buried in a family group chat. I was quietly removed from 8 months ago, when I did not even realize existed, is a thread between Jocelyn and my mother. Jocelyn. Just cry on the phone. She always sends it every time. My mother's reply 3 minutes later, I know. Next week I will tell her the roof is leaking again. I read it twice, then a third time. This is not impulse. This is not my mother having a bad day and calling her daughter for help. This is coordinated, practiced, a system they built together designed around the fact that I cannot say no when my mother cries. I scroll further. There are more messages. Jocelyn asking my mother which story to use next. My mother suggesting timing. Wait until after she finishes harvest, she will have cash. My mother coaching Jocelyn on how to phrase the ask for Brianna's tuition so it sounds urgent enough. 15 years, $347,000, and they had a playbook. My hands shake. I set the phone face down on the bedspread and press my palms against my thighs until the trembling stops. I do not cry. Something inside me has shifted, not broken but rearranged like a bone that has been set wrong for years and just snapped into place. I pick up the phone and walk downstairs. Marcus is at the counter pouring coffee. He looks at my face and sets the mug down. I am calling now, I tell him. He nods. He does not ask what changed. He can see it. I call my mother first. She picks up on the second ring. Myra, I was just thinking about you. Her voice is warm, the way it always is, right before she asks for something. Mom, I need to tell you something. I swallow. My throat feels like sandpaper. The farm, the bank foreclosed. I owe more than the land was worth. I had to sell everything just to cover the debt. Silence. Not the silence of someone absorbing terrible news about their child, the silence of someone recalculating. What do you mean? She says finally. What about the money I asked you for next month? I close my eyes. I do not have any money, Mom. She exhales. It is a long, irritated breath, the kind she used to make when I spilled something as a child. Let me talk to your father. I will call you back. She does not ask if I am okay. She does not ask where I will live or what I will do. She hangs up and the line goes dead. And the first thing my mother thinks about when her daughter loses everything is her own next payment. I call Jocelyn. You are joking, she says. Brianna's tuition is due next month. I am sorry, Jocelyn. I really lost everything. You always do this. You always find a way to make everything about you. The line cuts out. She has hung up. I set the phone on the table. Marcus is sitting across from me, both hands flat on the surface watching. Nobody asked if I am okay, I say. He does not respond. He does not need to. The answer is sitting between us like a stone. Then my phone buzzes. A notification from the family group chat, the one I am apparently still in. I open it and my stomach drops. The messages come fast. My mother types first. Myra lost everything. Bankrupt. I always said letting her run that farm alone was a mistake. Jocelyn. 2 minutes later. I knew that place would fail eventually. She should have gone to college like I did. Todd, my brother-in-law, the one who has asked me for money exactly twice himself, chimes in. So where does that leave Brianna's school? My father says nothing. His name sits at the top of the chat, grayed out, present but silent. Not one word in defense of his daughter. Then my mother again in capital letters. Nobody lend her a dime. She did this to herself. I read each message slowly. Marcus had suggested I stay in the group chat instead of leaving. Not to spy, but so I could see the truth with my own eyes. No second-hand accounts. No guessing. Just their words stamped with their names written in the minutes after learning their daughter and sister had lost everything she had spent 20 years building. Jocelyn sends a follow-up. Honestly, she has been throwing money around for years, pretending to be something she is not. This was bound to happen. Throwing money around. I think about the $8,000 I sent for Brianna's tuition 3 months ago. The $15,000 for my parents' roof. The steady drip of cash that kept Jocelyn in leased cars and my mother in kitchen renovations. I screenshot everything. Not because I am planning anything, just because I need proof that this is real, that I did not imagine it. That the people who raised me are in a group chat right now, calling me stupid and telling each other not to help. Marcus walks over and reads the screen over my shoulder. He puts his hand on my back but says nothing. There is nothing to say. The next afternoon my mother calls again. This time her voice is careful, measured. The tone she uses when she is about to deliver bad news she has already decided is someone else's fault. Sweetheart, about the anniversary dinner next Saturday. What about it? Your father and I have been talking and we think maybe it is best if you sit this one out. I grip the edge of the counter. You are uninviting me. Do not put it like that. She sighs. You are going through a hard time. People will ask questions. I just do not want the mood to be affected. I let the sentence settle. My mother is not worried about me. She is worried that my failure will stain her party, that someone at the Rosewood Grill will lean over and whisper, "Did not Myra lose her farm?" And the illusion of the perfect Callahan family will crack in front of 40 guests. I understand, I say. I keep my voice flat. It is only one dinner, Myra. We will do something together after. Just family. Just family. The word sounds different now, thinner, like it has been hollowed out from the inside. Marcus is in the doorway leaning against the frame. He heard everything. I had the phone on speaker. He pulls a small notebook from his shirt pocket and jots something down. Date time, what was said. I hang up and set the phone on the counter. For the first time in my life, I do not cry after a conversation with my mother. The tears just are not there. In their place is something else, a flat, still surface like a lake, frozen solid overnight. I look at Marcus. I am going to that dinner, I say. He studies my face, then he nods. I know. 2 days before the dinner, Jocelyn shows up at my house. No call, no text, just the crunch of tires on the gravel drive and the slam of a car door. I am washing dishes when I see her through the kitchen window, marching across the yard in her expensive boots. The ones she bought the same month she told me she could not afford Brianna's soccer cleats. She does not knock. She walks in through the side door like she owns the place. We need to talk. Hello to you too, Jocelyn. She does not sit. She stands in the middle of my kitchen and folds her arms. You say you are bankrupt. Fine, but you still have this house. This house belongs to Marcus and me. Sell it. Give me my share. I set the dish towel down. Your share. Mom and Dad raised us both. They put food on the table, clothes on our backs. You owe this family, Myra. You got the 60 acres by the highway. You sold them for $180,000. I got the clay field nobody wanted and turned it into something from scratch. She waves her hand. That is different. You did not go to college. You did not need as much. Marcus steps into the kitchen from the hallway. His voice is quiet. Jocelyn, she said no. Please leave. Jocelyn turns on him. This is a family matter. You do not get a say. Myra is my family, and she said no. The kitchen is silent. Jocelyn's jaw tightens, then she pivots back to me. Mom and Dad think you are hiding money somewhere. There it is. They did not come to ask. They came to accuse. Jocelyn leaves without another word, the screen door snapping shut behind her. I listen to her car back out of the drive, and I do not move until the sound is gone. That evening, my father calls. His voice sounds tired, not worried, just worn down. Like dealing with me is another chore he did not plan for. Myra, Jocelyn says, you will not help. Dad, I told you I lost everything. Your mother is very upset. I gripped the phone tighter. Dad, I just lost my farm. I just told you I am bankrupt, and you are calling me because Jocelyn is upset. Silence. I can hear him breathing, trying to find the safe sentence. The one that will not disturb the careful peace he spent his whole life protecting. You know how your mother gets, he says finally. When I broke my shoulder, Dad, did you come? The line is quiet for a long time. I am just asking, I say. He hangs up. No answer, no defense, just the click. The next morning I go to Patterson's Market for groceries. Nancy Feldman, my mother's closest friend from church, catches me in the cereal aisle. She tilts her head that particular way people do when they have heard bad news about you from someone else. Myra, honey, your mother told me. I am so sorry. I gripped the cart handle. She told you. Just that things have been tough with the farm. She is worried about you. My mother is not worried about me. My mother is distributing a story. By the time I get home, there are 3 more messages from neighbors all saying some version of heard from your mom. She has told the whole town I went bankrupt because of bad decisions, because I did not listen to my family, because I was too proud to ask for help. She is not just abandoning me, she is making sure everyone else does too. My hands tighten on the steering wheel. This is not carelessness, this is a campaign. Loretta Briggs shows up that afternoon with a cherry pie and no agenda. She is 75, a retired school teacher who has lived 3 properties over since before I was born. She taught half the kids in Millfield their multiplication tables and still gets Christmas cards from students who graduated 30 years ago. When Loretta speaks at town meetings, people listen. Not because she is loud, but because she is right more often than anyone else. She finds me on the porch staring at the line of fence posts that used to mark the eastern edge of my property. My eyes are red. I do not pretend they are not. I brought pie, she says. She sets it on the railing and sits in the other chair. I tell her everything. The sale, the test, the phone calls, the group chat, the uninvitation, the rumors at the supermarket. I do not hold back, and she does not interrupt. When I finish, Loretta is quiet for a long time. She looks out at the yard at the barn Marcus repainted last summer, at the gravel drive where Jocelyn's tire marks are still visible. I have watched your mother borrow from you for 20 years, she says finally. I have watched Jocelyn drive a new car while you patched your tractor with baling wire. I have watched Myra. And I never said anything because it was not my place. She turns to face me. Her eyes are steady. But nobody can set your boundaries for you, sweetheart. That part is yours. I wipe my eyes. Are you going to the anniversary dinner? Loretta picks up her pie plate and brushes a crumb off the edge. I will be there. Table 3, right up front. She pats my shoulder on her way down the porch steps. At the bottom, she turns back. Whatever you decide, I will be there. And I believe her. Because Loretta is the only person who has never asked me for a thing. Thursday evening. The dinner is in 2 days. I am feeding the chickens, the only livestock I kept when the sale went through, when my phone rings. Jocelyn. I almost do not answer, but something in my gut tells me to pick up. Hey. Her voice is soft, almost gentle. I have not heard this version of my sister in years. I have been thinking about the other day. Okay. I was out of line coming to your house like that. You are going through a hard time, and I made it about me. I wait. Jocelyn does not apologize. Not really. She rearranges words to sound like one. Listen, I talked to Mom. She agrees. You should come to the dinner Saturday. I lean against the fence rail. Mom told me not to come. I know that was wrong. It is their 40th anniversary. Family is family. You should be there. Something about the way she says it, too smooth, too rehearsed, makes the hair on my arms stand up. But you know, just do not bring up the money stuff. Mom and Dad are stressed enough. I was not planning to. Great. So you will come. I will be there. I hang up and stand in the yard watching the chickens peck at the scattered feed. The air smells like rain. Something about this does not sit right. Marcus is on the porch when I walk back. I tell him about the call. He leans forward in his chair. Jocelyn is never kind without a reason. Maybe she just feels bad. He looks at me. He does not argue. He does not need to. We have been married 15 years. I know what that look means. Why would Jocelyn need me at that dinner? The question follows me to bed and sits in the dark beside me unanswered. Saturday morning, the day of the dinner. I am at the kitchen table going through old emails looking for a receipt from the farm supply company when I find it. A forwarded message from my father sent to my mother 6 months ago. I had skimmed past it at the time, buried under 100 other messages about seed orders and equipment invoices. I had never opened it. I open it now. It is an inquiry letter from Meridian Agricorp addressed to the Millfield County Real Estate Office. They were asking about agricultural land in the area, specifically certified organic acreage with existing distribution contracts. The email was forwarded from my father's friend at the county assessor's office to my father with a note. Dawn thought you should know. Looks like someone big is interested in Miras land. My father forwarded it to my mother. No subject line. No comment. 6 months ago. My parents knew someone was interested in buying my farm for a price that would change my life, and they said nothing. They kept asking me for money. They kept the playbook running because the moment I sold and had real wealth, I might stop being their private fund. I sit with this for a long time. The coffee grows cold. A fly bumps against the window screen. I screenshot the email chain. I save it to my phone next to the group chat messages and the list of every dollar I have ever given them. Then I go upstairs and get dressed. Simple clean, a dark blouse and my good boots. Marcus puts on his navy sport coat. He looks at me in the mirror. You ready? I check my purse. The sale receipt from Meridian is still tucked inside, folded in thirds. I did not plan on bringing it, but I am not taking it out either. Let us go. The drive to the Rosewood Grill takes 12 minutes. Marcus keeps both hands on the wheel. The radio is off. The fields outside the window are flat and gray, under a low March sky, and somewhere out there, the 800 acres I used to call mine, are already being surveyed by Meridian's team. What do you want to do when we get there? Marcus asks. Nothing. I just want to be there. And if something happens, then it happens. I am not going to start anything, but I am done pretending everything is fine when it is not. He nods. We pass the grain elevator on Route 9 and turn onto Main Street. The Rosewood Grill sits on the corner of Main and Elm, a brick front restaurant with Christmas lights they never take down, and a private dining room in the back that half the town has rented at least once. My phone buzzes. Loretta. I am here, sweetheart. Table 3. Nancy Feldman is next to me. So is Barbara Jenkins. I will be here. I text back a heart emoji. It is the most I can manage. Marcus pulls into the lot. Through the front window, I can see the dining room, white tablecloths, flower arrangements, my mother moving between tables in her best dress, laughing with her hand on someone's shoulder. She looks happy. She looks like a woman celebrating 40 years of marriage, surrounded by people who love her. Jocelyn is near the front, standing by a small riser, with a microphone. She is wearing something new. Todd is beside her, fidgeting with his cuffs. I check my purse one more time. Receipt, phone screenshots. Marcus turns off the engine. Whatever happens in there, he says, I am right beside you. I open the car door. The air is cold. I can hear music through the restaurant walls. We walk in. Sitting in that car with the engine off, looking through the restaurant window at my mother laughing with her guests. I thought about all of you watching this right now. If you have ever been the one your family calls only when they need something, and the one they forget when you need them, I want you to know something. You are not crazy. It is not in your head. And if this story is hitting close to home, hit that subscribe button. Not for me, for yourself. So you remember you are not alone in this. Now let me tell you what happened when I walked through that door. The dining room is warm and crowded. 40 people fill the space. Neighbors, church friends, my father's retired colleagues from the grain cooperative, women my mother has played bridge with for 30 years. White tablecloths, candles in glass holders, a banner across the back wall reads 40 years. Dawn and Patty. My mother sees me first. Her smile freezes for half a second, just long enough for me to catch it before she rearranges her face into something welcoming. She leans toward Jocelyn and whispers. Jocelyn whispers back. I read my sister's lips. I told you I invited her. My mother crosses the room with her arms open. Myra, you came. Wonderful. She hugs me. It is a performance. Her fingers are stiff on my back. Hi, Mom. You look nice, sweetheart. Sit anywhere. Marcus and I find a table near the window. Loretta is 2 tables over, right up front, at table 3, flanked by Nancy Feldman and Barbara Jenkins. She catches my eye and nods once. Small, steady. I am here. The room hums with conversation. I recognize almost everyone. These are people who have watched me grow up, who bought produce from my farm stand, who waved to me from their trucks on county roads. And now they all know I went bankrupt because my mother told them. I can feel the glances, the slight tilt of a head, the whispered aside behind a raised glass. They are sympathetic, most of them, but it is the kind of sympathy that keeps its distance. Nobody sits at our table, except an elderly couple I barely know. Marcus squeezes my hand under the tablecloth. Steady, he murmurs. Jocelyn steps up to the microphone near the riser. She taps it twice. The room begins to quiet. She catches Todd's eye across the room. He nods. She smiles. Something is about to happen. I can feel it. My mother takes the microphone from Jocelyn and steps to the center of the riser. She holds a folded note card in one hand, though I am sure she has the speech memorized. She has been rehearsing moments like this her entire life. Thank you all for being here tonight. She begins. 40 years, can you believe it? Laughter. Applause. My father stands beside the cake table, hands clasped, chin dipped, his default posture for public events. Dawn and I have been blessed with so much, a beautiful home, wonderful friends. She gestures around the room and 2 daughters. She turns toward Jocelyn first. Our Jocelyn, our firstborn, college. educated a wonderful mother to our brilliant granddaughter Brianna, who is already at the top of her class. We could not be prouder. Jocelyn beams. Todd puts his arm around her. Then my mother glances in my direction a beat too late. And Myra, our youngest, always a hard worker out in the fields. That is it. That is all I get. No mention of the business I built. No mention of 20 years of labor. No mention of the contracts, the certifications, the fact that my organic produce was sold in 3 states. Just hard worker out in the fields. A sentence you would use to describe a mule. I feel Marcus' hand tighten on mine. Family means we stand together. My mother says, lifting her glass. No matter what. The room raises their glasses. Here, here. I lift mine too. I smile. I sip the water. Loretta does not lift her glass. She is watching my mother with an expression I have only seen once, before 20 years ago, when a parent at the school tried to blame a teacher for their own child's cheating. It is the face Loretta makes when she hears a lie, told with confidence. She looks at me. I look back. We understand each other. Jocelyn takes the mic back before anyone else can speak. She is practically vibrating. While we are celebrating, she says Todd and I have a little surprise of our own. She pauses. The room leans in. We just put a deposit on a new house in Maple Ridge. Gasps. Applause. Maple Ridge is the nicest development in the county. Stone facades, 3-car garages. The kind of place where every lawn looks like a golf course. Buying into Maple Ridge means you have arrived. My mother claps both hands over her mouth. Oh, Jocelyn! She pulls her into a hug. I am so proud of you. I watch from my table. Jocelyn does not have the money for Maple Ridge. Todd manages a building supply store. They have been leasing their car for 2 years. 3 months ago, Jocelyn told me she could not cover Brianna's tuition without my help. Now she is buying a $250,000 house. Then Jocelyn turns to me in front of the whole room. And I want to say something to my little sister. She puts her hand on her heart. Myra, I know things are really hard for you right now. And I want you to know our old house when we move you, and Marcus can rent it. Family discount. The room melts. Ah. Hands on hearts. Someone actually dabs their eyes. I sit perfectly still. This is why she invited me. Not out of guilt, not out of love. She needed me in this room, the bankrupt little sister, to make her announcement shine brighter. I am the shadow that makes her glow. The failure that proves her success. I smile. I nod. I say thank you, Jocelyn. The words taste like chalk. Under the table, Marcus leans close to my ear. Now you know. Yes. Now I know. 15 minutes later, the speeches end, and the room breaks into small conversations. People pick at the buffet. Someone turns up the background music. A normal party for everyone but me. Todd appears at my table. He pulls out the empty chair beside me and sits his body angled away from the room, like he is trying to make this look casual. Hey, Myra, got a second? Sure, Todd. He reaches into his jacket and pulls out a folded document. He slides it across the tablecloth toward me like a dinner napkin. It is just a standard consent form. Jocelyn needs both daughters' signatures to use your parents' house as collateral for our new mortgage. Your mom and dad already signed off. I unfold the paper. The letterhead is from First Prairie Lending. The form authorizes the use of 14 Birch Lane, my parents' home, as supplementary collateral for a residential loan. My mother's signature is at the bottom next to my father's. The only line blank is mine. They need your parents' house as collateral. Just a formality, Todd says. The bank requires it. Your parents are fine with it. I stare at the document. The ink is fresh. My mother signed this today. This is it. The real reason Jocelyn called me Thursday night. The real reason I was re-invited. Not to reconcile. Not because family is family, because they need my signature on a piece of paper to finance a house. They cannot afford using my parents' home as a bargaining chip. I look up at Marcus. His face is completely still. The room keeps buzzing around us. Laughter, the clink of silverware, someone telling a story about my father's retirement party. Nobody notices the document on the table. I pick it up. I stand. The room begins to quiet. I set the document on the table in front of me, open where anyone close enough can see the letterhead. I am not signing this. Jocelyn is across the room in 4 steps. What? Why not? Because this is Mom and Dad's house, and I will not let anyone put it at risk. It is a formality. Myra, we already explained. You did not explain anything. You invited me to this dinner not to celebrate, but because you need my name on a loan document. The tables nearest to us go quiet. Heads turn. My mother pushes through from the buffet line. Her smile is gone. Myra, do not make a scene. Just help your sister. Mom, last week you told me not to come tonight. You said my situation would ruin the mood. I keep my voice steady. Now I am here because Jocelyn needs a signature. Which is it? Am I family, or am I a tool? The words land in the silence, like a stone in still water. I can feel the ripple move across the room, the shift of bodies and chairs, the intake of breath, the quick exchange of glances between people who suddenly realize this is not a toast. Jocelyn steps forward. You are always so selfish. My father stands. His chair scrapes the floor. His face is tight. Myra, his voice cracks. Do not do this. Do not make your mother upset. I turn to him. I look at this man who gave me the worst land he had, and never visited the farm I built on it. Every time you say that, Dad, I lose a little more of myself. Barbara Jenkins at Loretta's table sets her wine glass down and says loudly enough for the room to hear, "What is going on over there?" And Jocelyn snaps. Jocelyn's face goes red. Not embarrassed red, furious red. The kind that starts at the neck and climbs. Do you have any idea what it has been like for me? She says not to me, to the room. My whole life all I hear is Mira's farm this, Mira's organic that. Every time someone in this town mentions her name, it is like I do not exist. My mother grabs her arm. Jocelyn, stop. Jocelyn shakes her off. I am the one with the degree. I am the one who went to college. I am the oldest. And she just digs in the dirt, and everyone treats her like she is some kind of hero. The room is frozen. 40 people staring at my sister as she unravels in front of the anniversary cake. Todd takes a step toward her. Joss, enough. She ignores him. Her eyes are locked on me. You were only special because you had money, and now you do not have anything. So what are you now? The silence that follows is absolute. I can hear the refrigerator humming in the kitchen. Someone at the back table sets down a fork and it sounds like a gunshot. Loretta rises from her chair. She does not raise her voice. She does not need to. Jocelyn, you just told this entire room that your sister only had value when she had money. She pauses. Did you hear yourself? Jocelyn's mouth opens. Nothing comes out. My mother steps forward, chin high, and points at me. This is your fault. You come in here and humiliate us. She did not say a word, Patty. Loretta's voice cuts clean. Your daughter asked one question. Your other daughter answered it. The room shifts. Chairs creak. Eyes move from Loretta to my mother to me, like spectators tracking a ball they cannot look away from. I have not said a thing, and the truth is already in the room. I stand. My chair does not scrape. I push it back gently. The way you would close a door you are never going to open again. I am not bankrupt. The room holds its breath. I sold my farm to Meridian Agricorp 3 weeks ago. $10.5 million. The contract was signed in Douglas Whitfield's office on a Tuesday morning. My mother's face goes white. Not red. White. Like the blood has left it all at once. My husband asked me to tell you I had lost everything, not to trick you, to see what you would do. I reach into my purse and pull out the folded sale receipt, the one I have been carrying since that Tuesday. I unfold it and lay it flat on the table. Marcus confirms with a nod. In 24 hours, here is what happened. Mom, you uninvited me from this dinner. You said I would ruin the mood. I look at Jocelyn. You blocked my number, then you unblocked it when you needed a signature. I look at my father. You did not say a single word. I pick up my phone and hold it so the table nearest me can see the screen. And in the family group chat, Mom, you wrote, "Nobody lend her a dime. She did this to herself." Nancy Feldman's hand goes to her mouth. Barbara Jenkins leans forward in her chair. Loretta sits perfectly still, hands folded, watching. My mother's voice comes out strangled. You lied to us. I did not lie. I said I lost everything, and within a day you proved I was right. I had lost everything. Just not money. The room is so quiet. I can hear the candle flames bending in the draft from the kitchen vent. Jocelyn sinks into the nearest chair. Todd is already heading for the door. There is one more thing. I do not raise my voice. I do not need to. Every person in this room is listening. I open the email on my phone and turn the screen toward my father. 6 months ago, Dad, your friend at the county assessor's office sent you a message. Meridian Agricorp was asking about organic farmland in the area, specifically about my property. My father's jaw tightens. He does not look at the phone. He does not need to. He knows exactly what I am talking about. You forwarded it to Mom. No note, no comment. You just passed it along. I lower the phone. You knew, both of you, that someone wanted to buy my farm for millions of dollars, and you never told me. Nancy Feldman turns slowly in her chair and looks at my mother. Barbara Jenkins does the same. Loretta does not move. Why? I ask. Because if I sold the farm and had real money, I might stop giving it to you. I might finally see the pattern. I might finally say no. My father stands with his hands at his sides. He does not deny it. He does not explain. He just stands there looking smaller than I have ever seen him. A 67-year-old man in a rented dining room watching his entire family come apart at the seams. My mother recovers fastest. She always does. That is not. We were protecting you from a hasty decision, Myra. That is what parents do. From table 3, Loretta's voice carries calm, measured final. Patty, everyone in this town knows you have been borrowing from Myra for 20 years. Do not stand here and tell us that was protection. A murmur runs through the room, the low collective sound of 40 people, rearranging everything they thought they knew about the Callahan family. Jocelyn stares at the floor. Todd is gone. My father sits down without a word. I fold the receipt and slide it back into my purse. I do not slam it. I do not make a gesture out of it. I just put it away the same way I would tuck a grocery list into my pocket. I did not come here for revenge, I say. I came because Mom said this dinner was about family, and I wanted to believe her. My mother's lip trembles. Not with guilt, with rage. I know the difference now. But this family has a condition I never agreed to. I look at her, at Jocelyn, at my father. I have to be useful. I have to write the checks. I have to keep quiet when the money disappears. And when I have nothing left to give, I get uninvited. I straighten my shoulders. Starting tonight, I am not giving anyone in this family another dollar. Not because I am angry, because I finally understand that I cannot buy what was never for sale. I turn to Loretta. Thank you for always seeing me. Loretta's eyes glisten. She nods once. Marcus stands. He buttons his jacket and places his hand on the small of my back. We walk toward the door together. The room is so quiet, I can hear my own footsteps on the hardwood. A sound that used to terrify me. The sound of leaving, of being the one who walks away. It does not terrify me now. Nobody calls my name. Nobody follows us. Outside, the parking lot is cold and dark. The restaurant light spills through the windows in yellow rectangles across the asphalt. Marcus opens the passenger door for me, and I get in. He starts the engine, looks at me. You okay? I lean my head back against the seat. The tension that has been coiled in my chest for 20 years, maybe longer, loosens one notch, for the first time in 20 years. Yes. 48 hours after the dinner, my phone lights up like a switchboard. My mother texts first. Sweetheart, I am sorry. I reacted badly. I was in shock. Can we sit down and talk? Jocelyn, 6 hours later. I know I was wrong, Myra. I have been under so much pressure. Let us get lunch, just the two of us. My father sends the longest message he has ever written. 3 whole paragraphs. He uses the word sorry 4 times and the word proud twice. He has never used either with me before. I read each message sitting at the kitchen table, my coffee going cold. Marcus is across from me working through an invoice from the hospital. He does not look up. He already knows what the messages say. He knew they were coming. When you had nothing, he says quietly, they disappeared in 24 hours. Now that they know you have 10.5 million, they came back in 48. He sets his pen down. Same people, same speed, different direction. I scroll through the messages one more time. The apologies are polished. The wording is careful. Every sentence is designed to reopen a door. Not because they are sorry, but because the money is still on the other side of it. I do not reply to any of them. Instead, I open the family group chat and type one message. I need time. Please do not contact me. I hit send. Then I mute the chat. Then I set the phone face down on the table and sit with the silence. It is the first silence in weeks that does not have a knife in it. Marcus looks up. What do you need? Nothing, I say. I think that is the whole point. Walking out of that restaurant, I felt something I had not felt in 20 years. My own 2 feet on solid ground. If you are still watching, I think you know exactly what I mean. Some of you are living this right now, and I want you to hear this. Setting a boundary is not betrayal. It is survival. If you have not subscribed yet, now is the time. The next part is the one nobody expected. And drop a comment. Tell me, have you ever been the ATM of your family? Without my signature, the collateral falls through. First Prairie Lending rejects Jocelyn and Todd's mortgage application within the week. The Maple Ridge deposit, $40,000, borrowed against a line of credit they could not afford, is gone. Non-refundable. The development sales office sends a polite letter. The house goes back on the market. Someone else will get the stone facade and the 3-car garage, but that is not the worst of it. Todd finds the credit card statement 2 days later. Jocelyn had taken a cash advance $25,000 to cover part of the deposit. She had not told him. She had hidden the balance behind an auto-pay minimum and hoped the mortgage would close before he noticed. I hear about this from Loretta, who hears it from Nancy, who hears it from Barbara, who lives next door to Todd's brother. In Millfield, information travels through the same channels as water downhill and everywhere. Todd moves to the guest room. Jocelyn pulls Brianna out of Westfield because the tuition is now coming from nowhere. Brianna starts at Millfield Regional the following Monday, shell-shocked and quiet. I feel sick about that part. Brianna did not do anything wrong. The anniversary dinner becomes the only thing people in town talk about. Not in a malicious way. Millfield is not cruel, just honest. People talk the way people do when they realize the family they thought they knew was a facade held together with borrowed money and borrowed silence. Patty gets approached at church by Helen Watts, the deacon's wife, who asks plainly, "Is it true you told people not to help Myra?" My mother does not answer. She picks up her purse and leaves the service early. For the first time in 40 years, nobody at First Baptist Church saves her a seat. A week after the dinner, I hear a knock at the front door. It is my father alone, no car in the driveway. I realize he walked the 3 miles from town in March, in his old canvas jacket and the cap he wears to the hardware store. He stands on the porch with his hat in his hands. He looks 10 years older than he did at the restaurant. I am not here for money, he says. Okay, I am here because I owe you something, not money words. I open the door wider. He steps inside. Marcus is in the kitchen. He pours a cup of coffee for my father, sets it on the table, and walks outside without a word. He closes the door behind him. My father wraps both hands around the mug like he is cold. He stares at the surface of the coffee for a long time. I knew what your mother was doing, he says. I knew Jocelyn was doing it too. I watched them call you, watched them cry, watched you send them money every single time, and you never stopped them. No. His voice cracks. I was afraid of your mother, of the fighting, of everything falling apart. It fell apart a long time ago, Dad. You just did not want to look. He nods. He wipes his eyes with the back of his hand. A quick, embarrassed gesture, like he is brushing away a fly. I gave you that bad land on purpose, he says. Not because I did not love you, because I thought you were the one strong enough to make something from nothing, and you did. And I was too much of a coward to protect what you built. I sit across from him. I love you, Dad. But I cannot go back to being the person everyone remembers only when they need something. He nods. I understand. He finishes his coffee, sets the mug in the sink, and walks back out into the cold. The following Tuesday, Marcus and I sit in the office of Catherine Oakes, a trust and estate attorney, 2 counties over. She has gray hair, reading glasses on a chain, and a no-nonsense manner that reminds me of Loretta. We establish an irrevocable trust. The $10.5 million goes in. Marcus and I are the sole trustees and beneficiaries. No one else has access. No one else can petition. The structure is clean and final, like a door that locks from only one side. Catherine sends letters on our behalf, formal on letterhead, to my mother, my father, and Jocelyn. The language is simple. All future financial requests will not be considered. This is not a punitive measure. It is a boundary. My mother calls Catherine's office the same day the letter arrives. Catherine's paralegal declines to provide any information. My mother tries twice more. She is polite the first time, less polite the second. The third time the paralegal simply says, "Mrs. Callahan, there is nothing more I can share," and hangs up. Jocelyn sends me a text message that night. It is long, 4 paragraphs. It shifts between apology and accusation like a car swerving between lanes. "I am sorry," sits next to, "You have destroyed this family. I was wrong," is followed by, "But you have to understand my side." It ends with, "I hope you can live with what you have done." I read it once. I set the phone down. I do not reply. Marcus finds me on the porch wrapped in a blanket watching the last light drain from the sky. Jocelyn says I destroyed the family. I tell him. He sits beside me. "You did not destroy anything. You just stopped rebuilding what they kept breaking." The sky turns dark. The stars come out. We sit there until the cold drives us inside. And for the first time in weeks, I sleep through the night. Millfield is a town of 4,000 people. Secrets do not last long here. Stories from the anniversary dinner circulate through the coffee shop, the post office, the church parking lot, the bleachers at Millfield Regional's basketball games. By the end of the month, the version most people believe, because it is the version Loretta confirms is close to the truth. Nancy Feldman calls me on a Wednesday. "Myra, I owe you an apology. When I saw you at Patterson's Market, I believed what your mother told me. I should not have." "It is okay, Nancy." "It is not. I should have asked you directly." 2 days later, a card arrives in the mail from Barbara Jenkins. No money inside. Just a note. "Proud of you, Myra. Your grandmother would be too." I put it on the fridge. At First Baptist, the Sunday sermon shifts. Pastor David does not name names, he does not have to. He speaks about what it means to love someone and still say no about the difference between generosity and being consumed. My mother sits in the back pew with her arms crossed. She leaves before the final hymn. Jocelyn and Todd cancel the Maple Ridge purchase officially. Brianna transfers to public school. Todd starts sleeping in the guest room and stays there. Jocelyn's Instagram goes quiet. No more new handbag photos. No more restaurant check-ins. My mother tries to hold the old narrative. Myra has all that money and will not help her own family. But the ground has shifted. People saw Loretta stand up. People heard what Jocelyn said about me being worth nothing without money. The performance does not hold anymore. For 20 years, I was the one people pitied or ignored. Now something has changed. It is not admiration exactly. It is something quieter. Respect. I did not ask for it. I just stopped pretending. 3 weeks after the dinner, my mother plays her last card. A text message. 11:47 p.m. "Myra, I have been having chest pains. I might have to go to the hospital. I thought you should know." I stare at the screen in the dark bedroom. Marcus is asleep beside me. The blue light of the phone turns the ceiling into a shallow pool. My pulse spikes. For a moment, one sharp animal moment. I am 22 again, standing in a trailer with no heat, and my mother's voice on the phone is the only warmth I have. I want to call. I want to drive over. I want to be the good daughter, the one who drops everything, the one who never says no. Then I open a browser on my phone and call the front desk at Millfield County Hospital. I give my mother's name. The woman on the line checks the system. "We do not have a patient by that name, ma'am." "Thank you." I hang up. I sit in the dark for a long time. This is the last move, the health scare, the guilt trip that bypasses logic and goes straight to the gut. It is the weapon of last resort for a woman who has spent 65 years learning exactly which strings to pull. I type back. "Mom, if you are truly sick, I will always help with medical care, but I will not send cash. and I will verify first. The message delivers. The read receipt appears. No reply. There is nothing to reply to, because the trap only works when you do not see it. I set the phone on the nightstand and lie back down. My hands do not shake. My chest does not tighten. I feel tired deeply, thoroughly tired, but it is a different kind of tired. It is the tiredness of someone who has finished, not someone who has given up. I close my eyes. I sleep. The envelope arrives on a Thursday hand addressed in the careful rounded cursive of a 14-year-old girl. No return address. But I recognize the stationery pale blue, the kind Brianna picked out last year when I took her school shopping. I open it at the kitchen table. Dear Aunt Myra, I do not understand everything that happened between you and Mom. Nobody tells me the full story, and I think that is because they do not want me to pick sides. I am not picking sides. I just wanted you to know that I miss you. You always made me feel like I was smart enough to do big things. Mom does not really say stuff like that. You do. I am sorry for whatever Mom did. I know she is not always nice. Love, Brianna. I read the letter 3 times. Then I fold it carefully and press it flat against my chest and I cry. Not the helpless wrung out I have done so many times this month, but the kind that cleans. The kind that comes when someone sees you clearly, without agenda, without calculation, and says so in their own handwriting. I write back that afternoon. Dear Brianna, I love you. I will always be here for you. But I need some time with your mom right now, and that is between her and me. None of this is your fault. Do not ever let anyone tell you it is. Then I call Catherine Oakes. I ask her to set up a restricted education fund, $50,000 held in trust, accessible only for tuition and school expenses. Jocelyn's name is not on it. Brianna can use it when the time comes. Marcus reviews the paperwork that evening. He signs his portion without hesitation. She is a good kid, he says. She is the best of all of them. He nods. That is the last word either of us says about it. 6 months later, Marcus and I close on 200 acres in Cedar County, 30 miles east of Millfield. The land is not as flat or as rich as what I had before, but it is good land. Clay loam over limestone with a spring-fed creek running along the western edge. The kind of land that rewards patience. We build a smaller operation this time. No contracts with supermarket chains, no packing facility, just 40 acres of mixed vegetables, a small orchard, a roadside stand, and enough chickens to keep Loretta in eggs. Loretta drives out every Saturday with pie. She sits on our new porch. Marcus built it himself with lumber from the old barn. And we drink iced tea and talk about nothing important. Sometimes she brings her friend Ruth, who teaches quilting at the community center. Sometimes she comes alone and we sit in silence watching the wind move through the young apple trees. I join a support group in the next town over. Women who understand what it means to be the family Adam. We meet every other Tuesday in the basement of a Methodist church. Nobody uses last names. The coffee is terrible. It is the safest room I have ever been in. Jocelyn has not contacted me. Patty sends a message on Mother's Day and Thanksgiving. Always the same tone, always a thin blade wrapped in scripture. Praying for you daily, sweetheart. I do not respond. My father sends a Christmas card. Handwritten 3 sentences. Merry Christmas, Myra. I think about you. Love, Dad. No request. No guilt. Just the words. I keep the card. I put it next to Barbara Jenkins' note on the fridge. The boundary holds. The quiet stays. I used to think quiet meant something was missing. Now I understand. It is the sound of a life that finally belongs to me. I want to say something to you directly now, if that is all right. For 15 years, I believed I was the problem. I believed I did not give enough, did not try hard enough, did not love my family the right way. Every time my mother cried on the phone, I thought it was my fault. Every time Jocelyn made a cutting remark about my education or my job or my life, I absorbed it. I told myself, that is what family does. They push your buttons because they love you. Marcus saw it differently. He saw a woman who worked 80-hour weeks in the heat and the cold to build something real, and then handed pieces of it away to people who never once asked how she was doing. He did not say it to hurt me. He said it because he loved me enough to tell the truth when nobody else would. I am not telling you this story so you will feel sorry for me. I do not need that. I am telling you because I know some of you are sitting where I sat. At that kitchen table looking at a phone full of messages from people who only reach out when they need something, wondering if you are crazy for feeling used. You are not crazy. You are not selfish. You are not ungrateful. Setting a boundary does not mean you stopped loving someone. It means you started loving yourself. If your family treats you like a bank account with a heartbeat, that is not your failure. That is their choice. And you are allowed. You are entitled to choose differently. I chose differently. It cost me my mother's approval, my sister's presence, and a version of my father I will never get back. It gave me my life. I would make the same choice again tomorrow. Early morning. The new farm. Fog sits low in the orchard, curling around the bases of the apple trees like something out of a painting I would never hang on my wall because it would look too perfect. I am standing by the chicken coop with a mug of coffee, watching the hens argue over a patch of clover. The air smells like wet grass and turned earth. Marcus rebuilt the coop from salvaged wood. It leans slightly to the left, and we joke that it has character. The screen door creaks. Marcus walks across the yard in his socks, carrying his own mug. He stands beside me. We do not talk. We do not need to. My phone buzzes in my back pocket. I pull it out. A text from Brianna. Aunt Myra. I got into the STEM program. Full scholarship. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I smile. A real smile. The kind that starts in the chest and spreads outward. I turn the phone toward Marcus. He reads it, nods, and smiles too. I look out at the field. 200 acres. Smaller than what I had before. No distribution contracts. No Meridian partnership. No name in the farm journal. Just good land, well tended, with a creek that does not owe anyone anything. Every acre is mine. Not because my father gave it to me, and not because someone else decided I deserved it. Because I chose it. Because I earned it. Because I walked away from the people who wanted to take it, and I walked toward the life I wanted to keep. My name is Myra Hutton. I am 42 years old, and for the first time in my life, I do not owe anyone a single thing, not even an explanation. The fog lifts. The sun comes through. The chickens settle down. It is a good morning. That is my story. And if it felt like yours even a little, I am glad you stayed until the end. If you really like our videos, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.